are so good.
I've got the sample pages if you either place where you want to go.
Okay, well, just as an idea, let me read just two frequently asked questions, and you can pick out a couple of the letters. Is it really for kids? It seems like a lot of big words. Um, well, these are from the great books I love reading to my son and have stood the test of generations. The point is that at this age, every book you read them doesn't have to be about teaching vocabulary that can be immediately applied in daily conversation. This is about you spending time with your child. My son does say Zapatista now, but he first picked up on boo hiss and pointing out to the angry person. Will I be encouraging my kid to climb a crane and drop a banner by reading it? Possibly, but you'll probably have to do more than read this book. The question of what spurs people to activism is a deep and complicated one. As far as I know, it's not usually a single ABC book read at the toddler age. Well, this is a great question. But not everyone who considers themselves progressive agrees with you on all the issues. Well, that's true. I struggle with a few of the issues, knowing that their inclusion might narrow the audience. But in the end, I decided this shouldn't be a least common denominators book. When we look back at this book 10 years from now, I want to know that it was on the right side of history. Most of you who are considering getting a copy of this book will be excited by the issues that it touches on, yet some of you might consider giving it may be a little challenged. How could a book called A for Activist not be bold on the issue? So why don't you read some to give folks a little bit of the flavor about what the activism is and what they're talking about, Mike?
Well, I mean, C, right? We talked about the wellness co-op. C is for co-op, cooperating cultures, creative counter to the corporate vultures. O and cats. Do you find the cats? But again, creative counter to the corporate vultures. D, little d, democracy. More than voting, you'll agree. Dictators detest it. Wait a minute, that means Obama doesn't like it. Donkeys don't get it, but you and me, we demand equality. All right, so we got to demand. They got to get equality into there, so they use the D to do D. And one more here. E for equal rights, black, brown, or white. Well, not for whites. Environmental justice is our right. Okay, big words for little people. Environmental justice is our right. Where we each live, work, and play, clean and healthy is the way. Dude, I'm kind of getting into this.
Well, you can actually get the audiobook, and who would be possibly more culture current and appropriate to do the audiobook than Tom Morello? I saw that. A guy sent me I reposted the whole wellness thing, and somebody sent me a snippet of Tom Morello reading it, and I just thought, okay, the circle is just complete. It's just perfect.
You know what? I think you and I, we're all about public service. I mean, we talk about that almost every day or every other day, a couple, 3 times a week at least. I think we need to come up with our own alphabet. You know,
Wow.
I think we could do that, dude. We could, we could split up the alphabet. We could each do 13, and then we could share and compare and maybe do a bit of editing. But I think that's something for the folks. I think it's the least we can do because they talked about.
Mike? That's actually a brilliant idea. We could get Mike Kilgore or one of our artist friends to do the visuals on it, and we could sell it as an ebook.
I think you're absolutely right because these guys say, I mean, equality. So there has to be, if E is for equality, then I think it's our public duty to do a counterpoint thing here.
Okay, you know what? Here we do. We're going to call it ABCs for thinking activists.
I think we're on to something. Hey,
okay,
listen.
Here's the deal.
Go ahead.
No, this is a really good idea. I want to do this, Mike. It's going to be called ABCs for Thinking Activists. And here's the thing: you start with A and do every other letter. I'll start with B. And let's by the end of this week have this done, dude. We can get that. We can have an ebook out, and then we can see if we can find somebody that wants to do the visuals.
Illustrate it for us. Yeah, illustrate it for us.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna do A and every other. I'm gonna do B and every other, and I'm not kidding at all, dude. This is a total project.
I'm not either. I think we need to do it.
and we could sell it as an ebook, and we could just publish it under the name The Right Mics.
I think, dude, we're onto something.
Okay, good. All right. So there's a business plan. Oh man, that's absolutely, dude. Seriously.
I'm with you, dude. That's why I recommended it or suggested it.
Okay, that's fantastic.
All right, so listen, since we're doing humor, I mean, to me that was funny. The whole notion of this book, it's not funny in the fact that we're going to counter it. But dude, this Jimmy Kimmel clip that you sent,
Oh my gosh, isn't that awesome?
for those of you unfamiliar with Lie Witness News, and it's just hilarious. This is a bit that Kimmel has run for quite a long time. So, who did this? Reed did this on IJR. Jimmy Kimmel takes to the streets and gets head-scratching reactions to MLK Jr.'s live speech. This is hilarious. Jessica, let's roll that beautiful bean footage as you.
I want to wish you all a happy Dr. King Day. This is the day on which we honor the legendary civil rights leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A lot of Americans got the day off today, which they spent at home judging people based not on the color of their skin, but on the content of their Facebook pages. You would think that the life and death of Martin Luther King are subjects we all know at least something about, right? Is there anyone in our audience tonight who doesn't know the story about who Martin Luther King was? And not that you would admit it if you did, but... Okay, so about once a week, we go out in the street and we ask pedestrians ridiculous questions. Like, I think once we asked them if it was appropriate to make a movie about the true story of Godzilla because he killed so many people. And some people said, no, it was inappropriate. I don't think... So usually it takes us a while to find enough people who are dopey enough to put a whole thing together. And sometimes it takes hours out there. But today, on Martin Luther King Day, this took almost no time at all. We asked 14 people if they saw the speech Dr. King gave this morning. And 7 of them said they had. And with that said, I present to you perhaps the most disturbing edition ever of Lie Witness News.
So what's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Kenny Patterson. I'm from Burbank, California.
Kenny, this morning Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made a very impassioned speech at the Capitol. What do you think of that?
I thought it was great, very inspiring, motivational,
How do you think his speech this morning compared to the one he gave in 1963? The same, better?
I wouldn't say it's the same or better. I would say it's very current for today.
This morning Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did a speech from the Capitol. What did you think of that?
I think it was great.
What did you like about it?
All the details and things like that.
It's very, very rare to see him speak in public these days. How'd you feel seeing him speak in public this morning?
I was shocked.
Talk a little bit about that.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how could it happen? How did it happen?
Why is that?
I mean, I haven't heard him talk for a while.
And how did Dr. Martin Luther King look to you? Did he look like he gained a little weight?
Yeah, he did. 24-hour fitness doctor. That's all I can say.
You want to say something to him about the weight?
About the weight?
About losing some weight?
Losing some weight, yeah. You need hit the treadmill and cardio, muscular, all that, doctor. You can do it. I believe in you. I did it myself.
Do you think it was appropriate that Jay-Z and Beyonce sang back up towards the end of his speech this morning?
I thought it was pretty damn... No, I thought it was ghetto, but it's all good. Ghetto's fabulous, you know what I mean?
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about his dream, and he said last night he had the strangest dream that he sailed away to China in a little rowboat to find you, and you said you had to get your laundry clean. What do you think he meant by that?
Whoa.
That nobody's going to break his stride?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to slow him down?
I guess.
Oh, no?
No,
He's got to keep on moving?
Man, I don't even know, dude. Now I'm like totally confused.
We're in a lot of trouble. Not only don't these people know what happened to Martin Luther King, they don't know the Matthew Wilder song, Break My Stride? That's crazy.
Okay, so dude, here's the point. Okay, I'm echoing to myself. I will trudge on. Every time I watch one of these from Kimmel, the Lie Witness News, every time I watch a Waters World, every time Dan Joseph is genius when it comes to this stuff. I always think to myself, every one of those people's vote is equal to yours and mine.
Except for the fact that they're probably not voting.
Well, that's a good point too, but
because they would have an awareness of
well, hopefully
month,
not voting.
Day of the year. Wait, what, Jess?
I said, well, hopefully not voting, but sadly, some of them are.
Do you think that people like that even have an awareness of what month it is, let alone that it might be a
no,
day to
but
vote
they
on?
see everybody voting, and those are the people that are standing outside usually, and they're like, "Hey, you want to come vote today?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, hope and change."
Exactly. Some of them get bussed to vote, and liberals go nuts when you say that. But it happens. It happens in every major city in this country. But yeah, I mean, go back to Joseph as an example. He typically goes to college campuses and talks to people. A lot of them are activists. I would guess a fair amount of them vote as well. And you know what? Screw all these people. Just the morons. Rush talks about low information. I mean, the no information people out there, and to be fair, they exist on both sides of the political aisle. I just think somehow the Democrats seem to get more of them to the ballot box than Republicans do. But listen, let me say this and just throw this out randomly. I think there ought to be a basic quiz that you need to pass before you're allowed to vote. That'll never happen, but it's just crazy.
I know. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I get that, man.
No, and I get what you're saying as well. But that's why polls, by and large, because people like this are included in poll results, and when a majority of people think that all right, who cares? It's just it's hilarious to me.
Hilarious-ish. Well, he does look like he's put on a little bit of weight, and it's been a long time since it has been a long time since we've heard from him.
Yeah, dude needs to hit the treadmill.
But I think it was nice to have those backup singers there. That was a classy professional touch. And I thought the production values in the stage show was it's like, come on.
Then he's rolling in the quotes from the book or whatever, and they're just oh, dude, now I'm really confused. That was hilarious. So anyway, all right, we got a couple of minutes, don't we?
We do have a couple of minutes. So is that? I wonder what foul. It's so easy to make fun of people, and what I want to see, and this is the question I always have for those things, man, is did it take him 6 hours to get that kind of footage, or did he ask those particular questions, put those folks on tape? 12 minutes later, they're back in the truck driving back and got what they needed.
Well, that's what he said about this one, and I would guess, like he said, some questions it takes them a while, but something like this, maybe it happened relatively quickly. What is it about people that they, instead of saying I don't know who he is, just lying their asses off to go with the question? I wonder about the psychology of that. Like you don't want to look like you don't know what he's talking about. I guess that's it.
Yeah, and that's kind of a that's a fundamental human thing. We don't want to say we don't know. We have an explanation and a reason and answer for everything. We don't want to say, yeah, you know what? I don't know. I don't know how to figure out how to get whatever it is fixed, or I don't know. Well, you know what, Mike? We just got a note here. We are out of time. This is Miller Michael Hausum. We've got a special guest, Logan Strain, to talk about his new book, On the Other Line. We will be right back after the break.